I'd like to call this meeting to order. Ms. Swopes, will you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mr. Merrick is absent at this point. Okay, Ms. Parker,
Here.
Mr. Rackler,
Here.
Mr. Robinson is not here. Mr. Lopez,
Here.
Mr. Self,
Here.
and Ms. Veronica.
Okay, if I'd ask everybody to please stand and Mr. Cordova will lead us in the invitation and I'll lead us in the pledges.
So pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for getting us here tonight to make decisions for our community that are pleasing to you. We want to bless all of these students that are here to receive their recognition tonight. Please help guide their paths to that they are our future leaders and that they are sitting in our seats one day. We pray for all of our staff and our community members. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Before I go to the pledge, I'd just like to have us take a moment of silence for Officer Ontiveros, Bloomfield police officer who was tragically shot and killed in the line of duty last week and died earlier this week. So just a moment of silence for his family. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures. Thank you. Okay, our first item is public comment. The public has an opportunity to comment on subjects regarding city business during the public comment period. Speakers' comments will be limited to 3 minutes unless the mayor and/or councilors request more information. The time limit is given in an effort to allow public input, but also to move the agenda forward in a prompt yet efficient manner. All speakers must sign in at the beginning of the meeting. Topics are limited to 6 speakers per topic. I have one person on my list, and it's Ms. Baca to talk on city requests.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Tonight, I would just like to ask 3 requests, just because some of them are due for safety, and then some of them are, I would just like some more understanding. So I would ask that the city of Portales on North Main, there's a property owner who is in ordinance that built a fence on the curve right after Allsups going towards the Bethel Highway. And it has created a blind spot for both southbound and northbound traffic. So I would ask that the city look into putting 2 yield signs, remove the 1 stop sign going southbound, and put in 2 yield signs, so that way, when we're creeping out, the other side is also kind of slowing down as well. My next one is the tornado sirens on the north side of town. The other day, whenever we had a tornado going through there, we couldn't hear the sirens. Either the volume needs to be increased or another one needs to be installed. That was a big issue. We have elderly people down there that didn't even hear it. We had to go through the houses and let them know that there was a tornado. Okay. Driving around town, this is my third and my last. Driving around town, I know that there's areas like the city parks as well as other areas that are supposed to be having the reuse water used to go in there and get the grass growing and stuff like that. We've also gone over there and signed a contract with the Little League for them to have that at the softball complex and stuff. And I would like to see in the council meetings a breakdown as to where this water, where the money is going, the funds that we are paying as citizens. I know on my water bill, I'm being charged $21 per month for this program. And if you break it down, so I've read several different areas where there's over 5,000 houses, and then there's a little over 4,000 houses. So if we go to the 4,000 houses, that's $84,000 a month that us citizens are paying for this reuse water. And per year, that's 1 million. It's a little over 1 million. So I'd like to have a breakdown as to where these funds are being gone, because everything that is supposed to be using this reuse water is not being addressed. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay, that's our only public comment this evening. Next item is minutes of previous meetings. I have two. First is I need a motion to approve the special meeting that was held May 19th, 2025.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion by Ms. Parker, second by Ms. Cordova. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next is minutes from the regular meeting held May 20th, 2025.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Lopez, second by Mr. Merrick. He's here, by the way. This one.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any comments or questions or further discussion?
Sure, Mayor, I have a question. On the minutes, it's showing draft. Does that draft?
I think they're draft until we approve them.
Yes,
Very good, very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
all right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Next item, and it's I'm so glad we get to do this. We have a presentation of Portales Schools Awards. Ms. Cordova is going to take care of those this evening. And Ms. Parker. Okay. So,
Okay,
y'all want to?
okay, thank you very much. Thank you, students and sponsors, for being here from the Portales Schools. We have several different organizations that we would like to recognize. First of all, we have PHSBPA. Can you get anybody from there? They were actually here last week, were they not, or our last meeting?
They didn't come last week, but we have their plaque this
We
week.
have their plaque, so we will get that. Okay, the next group that we have is the PJHS FCCLA, sponsored entities of the. They can come up too. Yeah. Definitely have them to come up. Okay, this plaque reads, with greatest recognition, the city of Portales honors PJHS FCCLA for their stellar performance at the 2025 state competition. We'd like to present that plaque to you. Congratulations. I'd like to have the students introduce themselves, so they can kind of tell us a little bit about your organization.
I'm Diego Cordova. I'm going to 8th grade, and my project was this week. And what did you say? Oh, cool. Very nice.
I'm Miles Bond. I scored a silver. I'm going to high school next as a freshman. I did hospitality towards the recreation.
And FCCLA is a student-led organization that stands for Community Leaders of America. And we do different fundraisers, and they get to choose their projects and compete with those projects.
So tell us about what happened when they went to state and where you're going from here.
Okay, so they went to state, and if they got gold or silver and qualified, they get to go to nationals, which is in Northern Florida, and they're going July 5th through the 10th.
And it was really good. I was really impressed with them. This is my granddaughter, so I'm very proud of her, and all the other students too. But with anything that comes up like this, the schools, like anything, is very budgeted. So the sponsor, Miss Hightower, and the students just dug in, and they had so much money that they had to raise, and they did fundraiser after fundraiser, and they were able to meet their goal. So we'll be able to attend these national conference in Orlando, Florida, representing Portales. So we're very, very proud of them. Thank you very much for coming and doing such a great job. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, and at this time, we have the PHS FCCLA organization and their sponsor, please. And it reads, with greatest recognition, the city of Portales honors PHS FCCLA for their stellar performance at the 2025 state competition. There you go. Thank you very much. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Okay, we'll have the students introduce themselves and you can tell us a little bit about your, of course.
So I'm Kristen Vinroy. I'm sitting here, I'm reading it. We community event management will be sort of cool.
So what was your event? What did you do?
So for our event, we did a kitchen and we got donations and things like that, and we hosted a kitchen at the culture of broadcast in November. And that got us all the way to the national, which is one of the. I'm Haley Campbell and I qualified with Silver for National, and my project was focused on children in the drug learning. And I went to a local school in Portales and I did a presentation and we told them the dangers of drugs and then that's what
Okay.
So our organization is much like the junior high. We do the same things. We fundraise, we do community service. These kids pick their project early in the year and they work on it all year long. And yeah, it's all been, it's student led. They work really hard to get to that.
I think with the junior high and the high school, there was other students that were not able to come tonight.
Yes.
Attending the national.
Yes.
Is that right? So
Yes.
how many does high school have total?
We have 7 going. One of them is a state officer. She ran her state office in Lincoln.
Okay, great. And how about the junior high? Five. Okay, well, congratulations. We're so proud of you. Represent for town. Well, we know you will. Thank you very much.
Our next recognition that we have is for Cesar Rivera. So Cesar and Mr. King like to come up. So Cesar was the spelling bee champion here locally, and then he went to the state competition. He competed there and he won that Spanish spelling bee, and now he gets to go to nationals. He qualified for nationals at the where are you going? In Albuquerque. Nationals in Albuquerque, and you got Jeb. But our award is the greatest recognition that the city of Portales honors Cesar Rivera for winning the state Spanish spelling bee. If you want to say a little.
Yeah, he did win with that word. But that wasn't the hardest word he had to spell. He had like probably the 2 hardest words in the entire spelling bee, but they were in early rounds. And that's his 3rd time going to state spelling bee, and he finally won it. So we're gonna go to nationals, and we're not done yet, so we might be back for maybe.
Yeah, for a national.
Because I think he had a real good shot at it. He practices a lot, and he actually is not in my Spanish classes. I just gave him the list of words and he had to practice of his own. And he did all that work on his own and he earned that championship right there, so.
Well, we're gonna be really free to win the. Is anybody here from student council for PHS? Okay, come on up, okay. So with all of the honors that we do, you know, with the city, as the council, you know, we always want to recognize student council because you are the future leader. These are some of the positions that you'll be holding as you grow and come into your adult life. So with greatest recognition, the city of Portales honors the Portales Student Council for their stellar performance at the state competition. So if you all want to introduce yourselves and just say if you hold the office.
I'm really proud that I am the score.
I'm Henry Ryder and I hold the position of vice president.
I'm Dalton Church and I hold the position of president at Hoover High School.
I'm Isabel Buswante. I'm actually their assistant. This one could not be here today. But they are student led. Anything that we throw at you guys just handle it. We do pep rallies, we do family engagement with the whole district.
We help host the community canned food drive to fill local food banks.
And every year, that's always a huge success. We, we host the blood drive to help fill blood banks in our communities so that we can have blood. And, we just try to search in every way to help our community in whichever way that we can.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for the community and giving back. Thank you, guys. And, you know, where are you at? I saw her talking there. On up 90. So, this is Emmanuel Chavez. Everybody knows him as Manny. So Manny has, he had the three-time javelin champion. He actually broke the national record. He had a personal best record that won him the state championship, and it placed him second overall in national. And then, yes. So this award is with greatest recognition, the city of Portales honors Emmanuel Chavez for being the three-time New Mexico 4A javelin champ. And for being, he was also invited to the Nike National Outdoor Track and Field Championships. So Manuel, if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what your competition's gonna be.
Hi guys, my name is Manny. I just graduated from high school this year. I plan on attending Nike National in Eugene, Oregon. I'm gonna be competing this month, the 19th through the 22nd. I compete that Sunday, and I'm competing against the top of the nation. That gold medal for the top. Not yet.
Mike mentioned that, oh, the people here that, they feel different.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry. As well, my goal is to reach 5,000. I'm at 4,500, so anything helps.
So like, like any other organization, anything that you do outside of the Taos schools, they do have to fundraise for their competitions. So we appreciate all the community support for all of the organizations. So be on the lookout for those things, and if you can donate, then that would be great. For these kids.
Yeah. I think it's on, it's a community page on Facebook, and you don't need my contact.
Taos community.
It's on the community.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, man.
Well, I think we have a lot to be proud of our youth here. I mean, we had 5 or 6 presentations in our last meeting. Looks like we're gonna have a few more. So let's give all these students another hand. Okay, our next item is a presentation on the FY 2025 Q3 report as submitted to the DFA for revenues and expenses. And I guess that's Miss Rivera, right?
Yes.
You're more than welcome to leave. Thank you.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Except for APA, they need to learn.
Everybody wants to, right?
Obviously, won't do.
Go ahead when you're ready.
All right, good evening, council. Before you is the third quarter report we submitted to DFA on April 30th. This report captures activity from July 1st of 2024 through March 31st of this year. This report's balances are as of March 31st of this year. For all of the columns you see up there, except for beginning cash, you will are the actual year-to-date activity. You will see general fund with an adjusted balance of 5.4 million. That of course includes our required reserve calculated by DFA and the investments. So just to touch on a few, solid waste with an ending balance of 2.3 million, and then our water enterprise fund with 12.2 million. This presentation of this report most likely already appears very familiar or identical to what you've seen in the past as far as the layout, since we've been discussing the past few weeks our budget. So the layout is the same. However, this is the quarterly report that I'll present to you quarterly once it's submitted. The fourth quarter report I will present on July for the final quarter, along with our final budget. So I will stand for any questions.
And we have to formally approve the fourth.
Fourth quarter, correct.
This one is just information.
Yes, this
correct?
one's just information presentation. There'll be a resolution for fourth quarter.
Questions for Ms. Rivera? Well, we sure do appreciate all your efforts that you're putting in and the catch up that you've had to do, and hopefully that there's light at the end of the tunnel here before too long.
I'm starting to see a little light.
It's not a train.
Not the train, I hope. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move to action items, but before we do that, I just want to advise the council that under the city manager, items 1 and 2, the 2 public hearings for the ordinances, we're gonna remove those from the agenda tonight. They're not ready. And we're going completely back to the drawing board. So we'll see them when Ms. Rudd and others work on it. And I think we're gonna also this time include the committees to put some input in those. So we will scratch those from this meeting.
You have to table those.
Just removing them from the agenda. I don't know when we'll be able to bring them back. Okay. So the next item is action by the council regarding Mayor Miller's appointment to the Finance Committee. I've visited with both these people, and I would like to, in Preston's absence as the council member on there, I would like to appoint Mike Rackler. And he said he would serve at least until we fill that position with that other council person, and we may take it back there. And then I would also like to appoint Preston as a citizen member of that committee. So is there any objection to those 2 appointments? Seeing none, then we will have those 2 added to the Finance Committee. You didn't object, Madam Chair?
No.
Okay, good. So,
What is required to be on there in city council? Is there a requirement?
No. No, we probably have one more person on there than we need right now, because with 6, we've got to have 4 for a quorum versus 5, where we only had 3. But I'm going to visit with one of the members that hasn't been attending very well and see what his intentions are to continue. Next is Ms. Rivera, you're back. Request approval of resolution 2025-17 for disposal of vehicle equipment through public auction.
So council, in your packet, I included the council information sheet to give you some background information. This resolution, not this number specifically, was already submitted before you on the March 12th meeting, and it was approved. However, this resolution, I would like to update it with the new resolution number 2, reword it to make it for public auction and not so specific to an online public auction with a specific vendor that we would be using. This would give us the opportunity to dispose of all these assets already that had been approved locally, and hopefully move that process faster. So I will stand for any questions.
Questions? Yes, sir.
I'm assuming some of these vehicles are disabled, because we haven't purchased 19 new vehicles in the last year or so.
Yes.
So I don't know where we'd be replacing 19 vehicles.
Yes, Mr. Chavez can probably speak a little bit more on that, but
Yeah, there are a bunch of that get taken out of service. We just never done nothing with them. They just been sitting there. Majority of them are police vehicles that are no longer in service.
And I know we replaced some of those, but I was worried about one of those trucks and stuff.
I think we've replaced some of these over the years, but we just haven't disposed of the old ones. Correct. Further questions? It's a pleasure to council on resolution 2025-17.
Move for approval.
Motion by Ms. Parker, second by Mr. Rackler. Ms. Swopes, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Merrick? Mr. Merrick?
Oh, yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Self,
Yes.
and Ms. Cordova.
Yes.
Okay, that resolution passes. Thank you. Next is Ms. McClellan, Community Service, a request council approval of application for easement agreement for 1001 West Spruce submitted by Timothy and Diane Baca.
Thank you, Mayor Council. I would like some praise for only having one item for you guys today. But we can go to the next slide. So this is an easement. Easements come straight to council as soon as they are applied for. So the next council meeting, most common, they are caught when someone is attempting to purchase the property. They do the survey, there is an encroachment. So for them to be able to get a mortgage, they need an easement from the city. So that is what we are doing today. So we do have a property on Spruce that has, it's gonna need 4 different easements. It's got a couple different places. This explains it, but I'm gonna go to the next slide because it shows a bit better. So you can see where the house has been built, the property, the needing the easements, and then your green is where we have an undeveloped alleyway that they were not aware was there when they built, so they encroached a little over. They encroached on this fence, on the carport, on another fence, and a bit on the house itself. One more. Oh, slide. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, and they do have a representative here to also answer some questions, if you have some.
So the encroachment happened prior to this fire, correct?
Yes, so this person's attempting to buy, and they'll have to buy it with the encroachments with an easement, if that is the council's pleasure.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't appear that that trailer's that old or the carport. How did this many encroachments happen on a property, on the city property, without it being caught when it happened?
So for this, I'm not 100% sure. They may not have understood the alley was there, they may not have understood what their property lines are. But no, I'm not 100% sure.
Don't you have to get survey to set a trailer?
You do have to get you don't have to get a survey to set a trailer, but you do have to put it on your own property. But when you buy it, you are given a survey when you buy the property.
Further questions? It's a pleasure to council.
So if this is not approved, then they can't move forward with their purchase.
Correct. The purchase will be halted until something else happens, whether the easement or. I know at some point they said they'd like to purchase the land, but that will be quite a bit off by the time we get through the process to sell them if that is council's.
But everything's already in place.
Yes, so they just need this to move forward with that last section for the new buyers.
When was this platted?
I do not have that in front of me. Can we go back one more to the survey? No, it doesn't show, but it would have been probably a long time ago.
And you said the alley has never been developed.
No, so there was, if you know there's an alley there, you'll only know by the plat. There's no markings, there's nothing that's been cut out, there's no trash service there. It is an undeveloped alley.
Do you see us ever opening that alley?
I have not asked Steve that question, we haven't looked into it, but if they do move forward with wanting to buy the property, that is something the city would have to look into to see if there would be any future development for that alley. But the easement is only temporary, so as of now, if you grant it and the city does need it, the city would still have access to their alley to develop it. People would have to remove their property.
Yes, sir.
Our real estate company is actually involved in this transaction, so I'm gonna get myself from the vote, but if you want further clarification, my period's here tonight. It's representing the seller. He could explain to you that all of that block there was owned by one person. They had some RV storage units at the backside of it. They've got another shop but close to the road. So all that property is owned by one.
Yeah. So is it my understanding that the buyer that needs this easement is also interested in buying the encroached property?
I will check with Mr. Chair, that's what he told me during a meeting, but that, I'll double check to make sure that's still true.
And they would prefer to buy it to have it abated, so that way they could be able to purchase it and not have to wonder and worry about it. As far as you asking if that alley is going to be developed, you would have to develop North Avenue B, which doesn't really go anywhere. And so I don't see North Avenue B being developed. And if it's not developed, then that alley has no place to go to other than to this home. And to kind of explain how that many encroachments happened. Originally, there was a home on block 1, which you're not seeing, which would be the far upper left. And then there's the would be a workshop, and then this was all vacant lot at the time that this was done. Then when the home sold, if you look, they are quite a ways away from what they thought was the borderline fence. But which actually now the survey is done is the middle of North Avenue B. So they thought they had given plenty of room, but in reality, they were 7 feet too close.
Fence goes right down the middle of the street. There's 30 feet on each side of it, so 60-foot wide street.
You know, I mean, in my experience sitting on this county, having been county manager in the past, we have a lot of these around town. And, you know, these easements are temporary. They're granted as long as this person owns that easement belongs to the person there. If they don't buy the property, or we choose not to sell them the property and they go to sell that property, then we go through this again, or we don't. But I mean, this is not an uncommon issue around town. In fact, we had one whole subdivision that back in the 90s, we had to completely go to court and just replat it because it was so encroached upon.
And originally I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but originally when that barbed wire fence was through there, we thought it was 30 feet easement, which would be 15 on each side. But then when we get through it, it's 30 feet on each side. That's the other thing that got.
So it's a 65, it's a 60-foot or 60-foot road.
So there were several things that all in all. Now, as a realtor, I would like to move that we start looking at the opportunity for either abatement or the clients to be able to purchase that property. It gives them reassurance. And like I say, North Avenue B, I don't see it ever being developed because it really doesn't go anywhere. So for the city to own it, expect the landowners to keep up with it and then get an easement. It would be to their benefit if they could own it, know that they're done. But I understand the red tape and all of that, but I would just ask that we look for a solution for that. So that way we can completely clear it up permanently and not have to come back each time that a home changes hands.
Mr. Mayor, if I'm correct, that request for an abatement would come from them.
Yes, so they would have to start the
That's-
process.
That ball needs to be theirs to roll.
Well, and that's
And then
what I'm saying. If you
we'll
can't
address it
directly
at that
pay, then look at some way that we could do it maybe in the further future. I mean, I understand why they cannot give the land to the homeowner. You can't do the donation. I get that. But if it comes up for purchase, and at a reasonable price, either that or Blacktop North Avenue B, but that's just not money feasible right now. If you've been out to that property.
Right, and I just would like to leave it as is for now until they bring that request for abatement, because I didn't go out and explore it because I knew what was going on with the easement, but I want to explore it more before we.
Yeah, and so for today, we would just do the easement. The any request for abatement or buying it is a months-long process. So they did just want to seek the easement so they could get the purchase through, and then the owners can come to us and we will help them through their other options. When they have
Thank you, Mr. Terry.
a longer timeline to work with.
So this is basically step one.
Yep, this is step one, and they can leave it at this, or they're welcome to take it further if they'd like.
So are there any further questions? Now, what's the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion, we approve this application for easement agreement.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Parker, a second by Mr. Self. Are there any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? And please mark that Mr. Merrick recused himself. Okay, that motion passes. Well, since we eliminated these last two items, we're now complete with our action items, so we'll go to council and staff comments. I'll start on the back row. Does anybody on the back row have any comments? All right. How about
So the animal shelter, we plumbing and sewage, the water was done today. So we're working on elected, still hoping to be open by July, and we're working on planning the grand opening. So if you guys have any recommendations, things you'd like to see, please let us know.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as you kind of nail that date down, let me know, because I would like to extend an invitation to Lieutenant Governor Morales, since he was very instrumental in the funding of that property or that building. So, thank you. Anybody else? Joe.
On the 7th, we're going to be doing a community planting day. So we're going to plant trees. They're actually like little baby trees. And we've been taking care of them until they were ready to transplant. And they are ready. And they will be in City Park and the cemeteries where we're going to plant them. So whoever wants to come out, we're meeting at City Park, basically right behind the Memorial Building.
Good. Thank you.
This Saturday?
Yes.
What kind of trees?
What kind of trees? So there's all kinds. There's I do not remember the names off the top of my head. I apologize.
They're not Chinese elm, though.
Are we gonna be planting something in the cemetery that's gonna cause problems later on?
I don't think so. From everything that I was reading on these, I don't think so.
That you got with people at the cemetery?
I have gotten with Steve and then I'm gonna get with JC and I'll talk with.
We got a few spots that won't be an issue.
And how are they gonna get water?
Thank you. That's where I was headed.
Buckets.
Were these really fast? Were these trees, but they were purchased with a grant
Yes, ma'am.
or they, okay,
They're part of Clean and Beautiful.
okay. Thank you.
So what's the criteria for the Clean Beautiful grant? What can that funds be used for?
Beautifying the community, cleaning up trash, helping organizations like youth organizations, that type of thing, helping out the community.
Okay. I don't wanna sound like broken record, but I think I've mentioned this before on some of our other grants, that if we could find some way coming up with the money to be able to tie in our reuse water lines to water those. That'd be a great use of the funds.
So I actually looked into, with the ag department, that's, down Base Highway, it's,
Oh, soil water. Soil water.
yes. So I talked with them about doing like a drip system if possible, and that would be possible later on. But not anything that we could do right away.
Any further questions or comments?
Summer reading started yesterday. I don't know how many kids we signed up yesterday, but that is a top in place. The last 2 days, we are just slammed. So it's a good problem to have. We've got programs every morning at 10:30 for the next 7 weeks. The teen groups has stuff Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons. There's family programs on Wednesday evenings and adult programs on Thursday evenings. So if you're interested, you got family, friends, send them our way. We'd be glad to have them.
I was getting fuel this morning and I saw that it was a pretty popular place.
It was. Yesterday, we were so busy and then the fire department had to show off and turn on some sirens going to emergency and I could hear the kids screaming outside. And I got to see the fire trucks.
Do you keep track of how many kids attend or?
Yes, yeah. I meant to have a number tonight, but we've been busy with, so I don't have any idea how many have come through the last couple of days.
That's great. Great.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Mr. Queener?
Hi again. I've gotten to know Miss Rudd, the new city attorney, a little bit. And I'm gonna be working with her closely in the next month or so, to make sure that she's ready and up to speed. I think she's got a good employee in it.
Ms. Rudd?
Hi, I'm Miss Rudd, the city attorney. I'm excited to be here. I've got to introduce myself to lots of you guys. I've got to meet the department heads and been a pleasure working in City Hall and just getting to know everybody, and I look forward to working with you.
I think we're gonna keep you busy.
Yeah, yes, I hope so. Yes, sir. I'm like telling them, like, bring me things, guys. Tell me all the problems will be helped.
Mr. Gallegos?
So I've been able to get my feet wet the last week and a half. It's been a little bit crazy.
Really?
But we did have a crash yesterday, just to update you. It was our roll-off truck. We think it's probably gonna be totaled. And so we have to contract with somebody for now to get those big containers picked up. The initial plan right now is getting finance to see if we can get an emergency truck purchased. Because
What is the self-insurer said about that? Are they gonna work with us on that and possibly help us with the contract and help
I
us
haven't got an
purchase that?
update from them yet as of that part, so that's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna work on is getting with them and getting that squared away.
Cause I know, I sat on that board and I know that they can act pretty quickly when a community needs a particular piece of equipment. Antoinette, sorry.
The insurance claims. I just filed a claim today. And right now we're waiting for the police report, but they have information on the claim. I should be getting a claim number by tomorrow. If the vehicle's totaled, they usually don't have too many issues about that, so most likely we'll be able to get the total reimbursed and be able to put that towards a new vehicle.
Good. Thank you.
The good thing about that is the driver and the passenger are okay with just very minor injuries, so that's the only really good thing that came out of that crash.
Okay, well, I'm glad nobody was hurt. No, just a little property damage, right?
Just a little property damage, but we'll get through it.
Well, thank you, Pat. You've had an exciting beginning then, haven't you?
Yes, I think I'm bad luck. I think,
Started
my
off with a
first
tornado.
weekend was a tornado. And then we had a water break and then this happened yesterday, so it's been a interesting week and a half.
Well, thank you. Nothing like a baptism by fire, so there you go.
Absolutely, that's how you learn.
Ms. Swopes?
I don't believe I have anything.
Okay. Mr. Rackler?
I don't have anything for that.
Ms. Parker?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Merrick?
No.
Mr. Porter?
Okay.
Mr. Lopez?
Potholes all over town,
Really?
and they're really, really bad. So what can we do about it?
Steve, you got an update on that?
We're working through them as best as we can.
I did see the trucks on the north side of town today, filling some of those up on Lime Street.
Seems like I don't care where I go, I'm gonna hit a pothole.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I can't get away from
they kind of. I know that these guys are out there getting after it, but it.
it. I don't know, it don't seem like nobody's out there,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
I've
don't
seen
see
them.
nobody out there
Yeah, well, she just said she saw them online today, so.
online.
Lime Street.
Yeah, they were online, so.
Well, I'll tell you what. People are really angry about the potholes that we don't do nothing about them and don't fix the streets.
And then when you do fix the streets, they grab because they can't get to Walmart and they go around. So,
Anyway, the weed problem too is pretty bad. There's homes all over towns, well, not all over town, but the weeds are all over the house and, if there was to be a fire right in that house would go. I mean, I'm talking about, they're real bad. Where's our code enforcement?
So we have a certain budget, and since we are at the end of the budget year, we do not have any more budget to step in and clean properties up till starting July. So we can just send the warnings out, and if property owners don't comply, then we can restart those efforts in July. But since we're at the end of the year, that budget is gone.
Well, we've been having problems with our city manager, so I guess I can't gripe too much.
Russell,
Want to brag on Steve, Memorial Day weekend on a Friday, and I had a customer come into Ace wanting to rent a snake and kind of in a jam. They had replaced a sewer line, and Steve, appreciate you answering your phone. I know it's not your department, but you got it kind of fixed. Got people out there where they could, address the situation, and I think it was the next day they eventually got it, but I really appreciate you answering your phone. And to clarify for public, if there is an emergency on weekend or after hours, if people are working and they get home and they see an emergency like that, you said call dispatch?
Dispatch.
And what's the official number?
356-4404.
4404. Okay.
Extension 1.
Good. And your trash trucks, I know we made some progress, and then you're down to one truck, or are they still?
We got 2 garbage trucks right now.
2 right now? Okay. And do you know if were we able to order them new trucks? Awesome. Great. Great. Well, we appreciate you, Steve, so thank you.
oh yeah, thank you. I'd just like to let you guys know that the Mayor Pro Tem and myself had lunch the other day with Senator Boone and Congresswoman Ledger Fernandez. She gave us an update on what's going on, out of Washington. I think that, for the time being, there's probably not going to be any more CDBG funding. That it wasn't all good news at all, but she thinks that there's still some of the community money, like what we got for Avenue K between University and 70. So if you guys think of a project that we can put together, we'll get it to her and she'll work on it. And, I really appreciate that she takes the time to come down here and meet with us and talk with us about these things. But yeah, it may be a little tough for a few years with some of the cutbacks that she was talking about, and CDBG being one of them. So I didn't mean to end this on a bad note, but she did say that she thinks she can help us with some community projects. So if we can get her some ideas on the community project, then I think she'll work hard.
Like what, excuse me, but like what kind of community project?
Well, like that street project. I'm not talking about, talking about something significant. That's the 18th Street. 18th, yeah. Well, I think we mentioned.
Yeah.
We did mention that.
Yeah.
What's the time in the first qualified? That's gonna be a major expense that we don't have.
Well, certainly could. We just need to get with staff and figure out what we need, and we can put together those kinds of requests with. And like I said, we've done that in the past, but she's come through a couple of times. So like I said, I do appreciate, and like I said, Senator Boone joined us, and so he was aware of some of this. And anyway, we had a good lunch. So if no one else has anything else, stand adjourned.